Good day, good people, and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dawes Birt, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. Listen, we don't know what's going on with the weather out here in Atlanta. Yesterday was 61 degrees, high 50s, 61. Today it's windy. They got the winter weather advisory in effect. We had snow last weekend. We may get snow this week. We don't know what's going on. It's January. No, regardless of where you are, January is going to do what it's going to do. You're going to get all kinds of seasons and weather mixed up. And so just hunker down, buckle, fasten your seatbelts, and get ready, because that's what's going on for January. But I'm excited. I am always excited to be here with you on Sunday afternoons. You know, we are here every first and third Sunday. We start around 2 o'clock. We have the conversations, and so it's no different today. I wanted to welcome all the new listeners and just give you a little bit of background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating and connecting to raise awareness regarding issues that impact women by way of community service, public speaking, mentoring, workshops, and doing this platform. We have been having conversations like this since April of 2016. We are in 2025. So yeah, we are not new to this. We are just true to this. And I'm super excited and honored to have this conversation today. Today's topic is Atlanta's Voices and Views. Councilman Antonio Lewis, how are you?
I am amazing today. Typically my answer is putting it together, right?
Really?
Putting it together.
Really?
Because you can't get too high, can't get too low. It's so many things always going on in your community, but I'm amazing today because it's Sunday and I just left church.
Yes.
And I took my niece.
Yes.
So I feel amazing today.
You feel amazed today. There was a word in the house. The fellowship was good. The energy was good. It was the right place at the right time.
It was a good Sunday.
It was a good Sunday. You didn't want to be anywhere else but there at that moment.
It was, man, can I tell you, before we got to church,
Yes.
we actually ran out of gas.
No.
And we got out one car and got in another car.
Really?
God is so good.
Yeah,
God
he
is
is.
so good.
He's on time.
That we were able to make
Yeah.
a short, it was less than a 30-second walk to get to the other car.
Wow.
And we drove the other car to church, and we still made it to church before the pastor was able to speak today. And that was amazing day.
You seem like a person that's always grateful about stuff. We're gonna get into that because I've seen you in a couple of spaces. We talked about that before we actually started, and we're gonna talk about that. Let me ask you, where are you from?
Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia.
Is that
Cleveland
right?
Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. Growing up, I used to hear folks say I'm from Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Georgia, and it meant something.
It meant something, yeah.
And so now today, if you're from Atlanta, Georgia, you're from Cleveland Avenue, you can actually stick your chest out and say, I'm from Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. Because it's a different part of Atlanta.
Yeah,
and I represent it as best as I can. I try to make sure that your grandma is proud of me when she says my councilman is Antonio Lewis. I want your grandma and your granddad to be proud of me. And you.
This is awesome. Yeah. So it's interesting you talk about grandmother. You lost your parents at an early age, Antonio?
God is good.
Yeah.
I lost my mom at an early age.
Okay.
God is good because that means my mom is always with me, right?
That's awesome.
So I lost her physically, but gained her spiritually, and I gained a advocate to God, right? Advocate to Jesus and to God, to the Holy Trinity forever.
Nice.
So forever, my mom is always with me. She's always telling God and Jesus, hey, y'all gotta let him slide. Y'all gotta help him. So that's why I'm moving so strong, because I know for sure if you got a mama and you know how much your mama love you, imagine that. My mama love me too.
Yeah.
And she with Jesus, she with God, because I believe in that.
Yeah.
And so I lost my mom at a early age, but I gained an angel. I gained somebody to help carry me through the trials I was going to face.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
So raised by your grandmother. So you've seen Atlanta change, being that you're from here. So you've seen it grow up even more, right? Emerge. Tell me what it was like when you was a kid.
I'm a part of every single resource that the city ever offered, right?
Okay.
So I'm a park and rec baby. I'm a Camp Best Friends kid.
I'm
a Grady's baby. And so growing up here on Cleveland Avenue, always living in the same exact house, going to the schools, keeping the same group of friends. I grew up with a real sheltered by a community way.
Okay.
Sheltered and raised by the entire community. Like the barber actually cut my hair free if I if I swept the barbershop on Friday.
Wow.
And so I was trying to be the first young man into the barbershop on Friday to sweep up so I can get my hair cut. The pastor down the street or the deacon in the church actually taught me how to tie a tie before I went to my 5th grade graduation.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And so raised fully
by
and received by the community.
By the community. And there's so many changes even on Cleveland now today. Doesn't it look a little different for you?
We are growing. So two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So when I grew up, we had all the restaurants and all the car shops, and we had a booming economy right here on Cleveland Avenue. We had a McDonald's, the nicest McDonald's in the city of Atlanta. We had a slide you can slide down in it. And so to see it drop when it dropped, and to now see shovels in the ground. If you ride down Cleveland right now, you seeing us doing is breaking it down so we can rebuild it back up. We now have the nicest Church's Chicken in the city of Atlanta. That Church's Chicken, they burnt something down and they built it back up, right? If you see it, we've been able to reinvest in our fire station. We're about to have the nicest fire station in the state of Georgia, which means we'll probably have one of the nicest ones in America.
And let's talk about some of this. What do you know? What caused the breakdown for Cleveland? What happened? Because you said it was a place. It had businesses, and then things died. What happened?
I mean, it looks like a third world country.
Yeah, it does in certain spots.
It's dark in certain spots, but we're trying to light it up. Part of what happened is intention. I think you have to be intentional with resources, intentional with what you do.
Okay.
I think this is the first. I'm the first council member that's born and reared through this community and since in 20 years. So that means something. That means that a person has to know these courts and these cuts and corners. You have to know that these street lights don't work over here, right, to cut them on. You have to know that this fire station, we need this fire station. It has to be rebuilt because there's some apartments behind this fire station called on Macon Drive, where Springside Apartments, where they need the water from that fire station.
They do.
We know that there are elements. So I think a lack of intention, a lack of investment, I think an intentional lack of investment also was part of it. And I think right now we're looking at our city, we're looking at our community, and we're fighting for it the right way.
The right way. From a location perspective, Antonio, it's a great location in the sense of being able to pivot and be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium like that, downtown in a blink of an eye. The airport is in the vicinity. So there's opportunities for jobs and people to be able to get to those jobs that live in this neighborhood. But, so it's a great location. And so I think that the intention, people are really starting to see that location means everything. Right? And being able to get to different things, to have that work-life balance is important.
But we've always known location mean everything. Anybody over here, my family, I'm a 4th generation Cleveland person right over here.
Wow.
My family's owned homes over here, only home owners. So so my great grandfather bought the first home over here. He taught his daughters how to buy homes over here. They sold property to the government over here, to the airport, over here, and moved right down the street. So if you grew up over here, you grew up in middle class community. So I grew up with my grandma, but man, it was a strong thing. So I think that the intentional investment that we're getting right now, I think that having the community be loud about what they want. And the side note, we always knew we were close to everything.
Right.
We're 7 minutes from the airport, 7 minutes from downtown. We got Porsche. We actually have all of the amenities right here in our district.
You do.
And we just need you to give us more right here, right now, because you can't have our homes. We own them. Like, I bought the house I grew up in. I bought a house down the street from it as well. Awesome. My aunt owns a home over here. My cousin owns a home. We own this stuff over here, so we ain't going nowhere.
So you guys have been practicing generational wealth while we were learning the term. You guys were already doing it.
Everybody in Atlanta was. The secret to Atlanta is if you meet the right person, he already got a house. She already got a house. What I tell my nephews and nieces is, my nephews in particular, as they are courting young ladies in our city, that a lot of them, their grandma got a house already. They've already been taught some stuff. So if you do it right, you adding on to that. You can build on to it. The education piece is where we lost it, right? So we know the war on drugs attacked us. It was a war on black folk. And they tried to lock their way out of that situation. And so now we have to do the opposite, and we have to teach folks what to do with their properties. People are trying to, it's still hard to get our property.
It is.
You got to go through so much probate to get something in Atlanta. But they're trying to basically take what we own because think they can. And that's what I'm over here fighting for, to make sure we are educated, making sure people can keep their stuff. I'll tell you one thing I'm doing to make sure that our homeowners, anybody who's owned a home since before 2018, can get their taxes paid for free. I'm trying to stretch the Atlanta Beltline to Cleveland Avenue today, not tomorrow. So the dream of the city of Atlanta, dream of the Atlanta Beltline, is to be able to go from the Beltline to the airport, be able to get on the bike, right? And so to me, I believe you. Imagine if you tell me your dream and I say, I believe you. Give me my resource now. They have a resource around the Beltline Beltline tab that actually pays people taxes if you own the home over a certain amount of time period. Yeah. So I just want that right now. You want that
right now, right here, right now. Yeah.
So those are the things we're trying to fight for downtown to make some stuff happen for us today.
That's a good fight. You went to South Atlanta High School?
Blessed.
Was class president?
Yes.
Captain of the basketball team. Did y'all win? Did you have a winning season?
we are winners. South Atlanta is known for winning in basketball. I was a part of the tradition of the winning. My first year was the year that we started right before me. We won about 6 straight city championships.
Nice.
So no one in the city could beat us. In fact, sometimes the people we would beat in the city championship, for example, in 2005, my senior year of high school, we beat Mays High School in the city championship game, but Mays won the state championship. Okay. So they could beat. We were on this discipline to win when they weren't running and gunning with us. They slowed the ball down on us, and they were slowing down our athletes. But when it comes to us, we were terrifying people.
Yeah, winners.
Terrifying.
Winners.
People.
So then you went to Lincoln University?
Blessed.
What did you study there?
Political science.
Nice.
Yep. I wanted to learn how to go and get resources and bring it back. I thought I had interaction with my city council person when I was in my youth.
Okay.
The council person was Dr. Gloria Tinubu at the time period. She lived in my community. Her sons went to school with us. That's what council people used to do, right? Right. But that was a time period where it just stopped happening, but they went to school with us, not to other schools in the city of Atlanta, our schools. And so Tayo Tinubu was my friend. I used to go to his house. Dr. Gloria Tinubu used to cook food. I used to eat it. And so I knew that the city council person was a person you could touch.
Right.
And so I wanted to help bring that type of thing back, but I wanted to learn how to do it for us. Like we could educate one of our own. They could go out and learn, and they can come home, and then they could help us get resources that we need. And I won't try to die in this. See, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. My goal is not to. I actually tried to do term limits. When I got elected, I tried to institute a legislation to put in term limits on city council people to make it to where we always bringing in innovative, fresh ideas.
Because there's no limit on it now?
You can, if you do it right, if you do it right, you can die in your seat. If you do it right.
If you do it right.
That means that the people want you, because the people are who elect you.
Right.
But I think that there always should be some change, because a person like me, I beat an incumbent because I had the knowledge and the skill to go and do it. But the incumbent had financial backers who wanted to make sure that she was there. So she outraised me fundraise-wise in the city.
Right.
But I understood politics enough to know how to raise money. So if you look at the overall fundraising accounts, I actually did better than her there too, because I built connections. But I majored in political science because I thought we needed one of us to learn how to do stuff that wouldn't trade on us.
Right. There's so many different political spaces and offices that we don't know. So there's councilman, there's commissioner, there's senator. What are the differences? Is the commissioner just really engaged from the county perspective, or how does that work? Do you know?
Well, cities fall within counties.
Counties, right?
So commissioners have the commissioner of Fulton County. We have 15 cities. So they have the city of Atlanta has 15 city council people.
Wow.
So they would have probably 5 to 15.
I got you.
Or 16 in any city that they may manage for their commission district, right?
Got you.
So the county commissioner's job is to take care of the health and well-being of the county.
Got you.
So that means they provide that's why you hear a lot about the city of Atlanta and the Fulton County Animal Protection Service.
Yes,
right?
yes,
So they provide our animal protection. So you hear a little about Grady Memorial Hospital and the Fulton County Health Board. They go through through the county. You hear a lot about the houselessness issues, they're all supposed to be handled and managed by the county.
Got you.
Everything
Got you.
that's health related will go through the county. The city of Atlanta has been so fortunate and so blessed that we ballooned and blossomed into a major city.
Yes.
And we also have hearts for our people. And so we see struggle and we see ways in which we can step in. And so we've built certain things like a city jail. But we built certain things like city houseless shelters, like. And the reason why I say city jail and the houseless shelter in the same time, because I'm about to tell you something. We're one of the first cities in the nation to get out of the jail and business before too, right? Because the Atlanta Gateway Center used to be the first city jail. We turned it into a houseless shelter, right? Guess what? We tried to do it again with our city jail. That's why I said, because we ain't supposed to be in the jail and business. We don't have to. That's the county's job. And so you can actually turn a city jail into a houseless shelter if you want to get into their business a little bit. We've done it before. So I'm saying city, our job is the roads, making sure that the police are paid, making sure that the fire services are working, making sure that I apologize if I'm moving a little bit.
No, you're fine.
Making sure that our roads, streets are paved. People don't say, you don't know your job, boy. Making sure your utilities are working, so that means your public work, your public services, your public works department, your sanitation department. We actually have a department of parks and recreation, so we manage your parks and recreation systems
Anything
in the
city.
city of Atlanta. Anything
city. So you are District 12. What does that district cover?
That is, I can draw a triangle for you.
Yeah, give it to me.
We are the farthest south you can go in the city. So from Jonesboro Road until the Home Depot.
Yes, over
to
there.
Tyler Perry Studios.
Okay,
far west.
over there, McPherson, Fort McPherson.
Fort McPherson
Yes.
to Tyler Perry Studios, that's far west.
Yes.
To the Atlanta Beltline / Pittsburgh Yards.
Okay.
On the north.
All right,
And
got
so
it.
the line that ends us is Pryor Road. So Pryor Road is the cut. So it's like a triangle.
Yeah.
So that means you got Pryor Road, Cleveland Avenue, Metropolitan Parkway, McDaniel Street, University, you have Sylvan
all
Road,
thriving
Deal
neighborhoods.
Avenue, a little bit of Calverton. And so in all thriving, strong neighborhoods.
Yes.
You have Polar Rock, you have strong traditional neighborhoods.
Yes.
You got Joyland, and these are
a couple of name changes because Metropolitan was Stewart Avenue when I got here.
It was Stewart Avenue when I was. It was a thriving Stewart. Can I tell you one of the biggest issues with Metropolitan and redlining in the city of Atlanta? Metropolitan, we wanted new car dealerships. They gave us used car.
There is a lot
they
of.
gave us different kind of clubs than they got on the north side.
They
of the
sure
city.
do.
So Metropolitan is the same thing as Northside Drive.
Yes,
same
it
street.
is. Same street. It
Same
sure is.
exact street.
We take it to go into the city.
Do you know that it's still Stewart Avenue for one split second?
Where's that split second?
Right before you get into Northside Drive. So as you drive down Metropolitan Parkway, right before you get into the cut, at the pizza spot, it is Slim and Husky's Pizza.
Which is good pizza.
If you right into that cut, even the road isn't as paved.
Right.
The road even looks a little different. There's actually a different street right there.
And that's Stewart Avenue.
Then you go back into Northside Drive.
Wow.
Yep.
Was that intentional?
No.
No, they just missed it?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't think that they meant to do. It's intentional that one is Metropolitan, one is Northside Drive.
Yes.
It's intentional that so a lot of things aren't. It's intentional that they had to split them, but I don't know if they meant to leave fingerprints like that. Because one of my first fights as a city council person was when the state of Georgia was about to pave Northside Drive, and layperson. I was a layperson, right? I didn't realize Metropolitan was Northside Drive.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same thing. And one of my fights was I stood up in the meeting. The ATO Department of Transportation chair, he'll tell you, he was with me. He's on my side. And they weren't against me. No one was against me. I stood up and I said, why are we only paving Northside Drive and not the entire thing?
Yeah.
And what we had to do as a city is pave the entire Metropolitan Parkway. We took our own funding and pave a state road with the anticipation that the state would pay us back one day. That's what the city, that's what our mayor, that's what our Atlanta Department of Transportation did. Because my fight was, hey, Metropolitan is the black people. That's us. It's us.
It is.
But it's not just black people. It's actually a very mixed street.
Yeah.
But you mean to tell me you ain't gonna pave the same exact road? I want what they get it. I want what Arthur Blank get. You get what I'm saying? I said out loud, I want whatever they got in front of the dome. I want in front of.
Yeah, that's redlining at its finest.
I want in front of LaCour.
Yeah.
Whatever in front of the dome,
That's
I went in
redlining
front
at its
of.
finest, though. It is. But the neighborhood in that triangle in which you talked about, because I drive through it a lot, right? I just drive through the neighborhoods a lot. There are co-oping spaces, right? I won't name the business, over there in Adair Park, which is right off of Metropolitan. There are businesses, restaurants, barbecue,
Yes.
different things. And when you go into these spaces, the people that are there are no longer just black and brown people,
Yeah.
right? So there's diversity in the triangle in which you speak of in your district. And I think there is intention, there's an awakening. People realize that it is a quiet neighborhood. That triangle in which you speak of is quiet. It is a neighborhood.
Safe.
It's safe. It
Super
is
safe.
neighborhoods. It is houses that have been built that are still
we own them.
standing, and we own them, and it's good. And the
We care about our
location,
communities, care about our yards.
it's a great location to just be. So I've seen, definitely since COVID, but I know the conversations, Antonio, happened like 5-10 years prior before we actually see it. That the neighborhoods are changing. That it is very multicultural, becoming multicultural and different races.
What if I disagree a little bit? What if I add something?
Go ahead, go on and
Add
say
something to
it.
your
This
thought
is your
process?
show. This is
No,
your hour.
I want to
Go on
add
and
something
say
to your
it.
thought process.
Go ahead, say it.
What if those streets have always been that way for 60, 70 years?
I didn't notice it.
What if
Why
it's
am I
been-
noticing it now?
What if I tell you that because maybe we're investing a little bit different.
Okay.
So the Southeast Point, Hateville.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my street.
Hate,
That's next door to Hateville.
Yeah,
Think
yeah,
about it.
Hateville's my
166
city.
is
Yeah.
I mean, we did redlining,
Yeah.
but 166 is people moving.
Porsches
we've
in
always,
Hateville.
my grandma, Sylvan Road has always
Yes.
been a diverse street.
Yes.
It's always been diverse.
You
That's
right.
what my grandma told me.
You right.
That's what my uncles told me.
You right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like I
right.
know my street. My granddaddy bought the house from a white man, for lack of a better term. The neighbor was still a white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I'm saying that I have always had certain pockets. I have a trailer. I have multiple trailer parks in my district. I have multiple rocky roads in my district, right? So this is the part of Atlanta, and that particular portion has always been like that. The houses, it's always been like that. Only because I know that. And it's the thing is now more mixed. We can go over there now. So at first we couldn't go over there. We
Right.
we didn't really go on Murphy Avenue.
Right.
We went on Ralph David Avenue.
Right.
We went on Lee Street.
Right.
That's the
Yes.
we're more open. I think that we have a different generation of young white folk in our district, and I
You
see
do.
have grown up and who are open. We all
Open. Yeah.
all us, only thing need to speed up is the government and some
Yeah.
of the policies.
Yes.
and we need to send our kids to the same schools. But if you look at that, my district has always been super diverse. We're blessed because of it, and that portion has Adair in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Same thing
Same
to
thing.
anybody from Pittsburgh. If you're from Pittsburgh, right? If you're from Pittsburgh, Adair is a part of Pittsburgh, but you knew that they changed the name. But it's always been that way.
Yeah.
We've always lived in unison in that portion of my district. So that's why Adair is Pittsburgh. You know that. But
yeah.
also I know some strong black families in Adair that moved from Pittsburgh because they was moving on up. And they bought a lot of houses in Adair, and I still talk to them, and they live over there, and there's generational wealth. That's the
Generational
Ridges.
wealth. That's
I just said the
generational
last
wealth.
name. I know it because her mom lives across the street. Grandma lives over there. They're in Adair. And so I think we do have a element of a new person moving here, and they think that this is new, and so they've been calling code enforcement on some of our folks that have been here. But we mixed over there.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's talk about schools. So the thing for me, because I'm a parent, and I've struggled with the school system in Georgia. Just that I feel like you can afford a house, but if you don't live in the right zoning, you don't get the same type of opportunities from an educational perspective. Do you see that changing within your district, Antonio? We can't speak for the whole city of Atlanta, so let's take it one elephant bite at a time, right? So maybe for your district, is it changing for your
It's
district?
up and down. I'll tell you something. I would tell you that Cleveland Avenue Elementary School did not make the governing list.
Okay.
And that's an amazing thing. That's
Yes.
the elementary school I went to. They were on the governor's list. They're not on the governor's list
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
I know that since I've been elected, I know that they've had murders in front of their school.
My God.
Parents who walk their kids to school every day. I had a young man who was murdered walking after leaving his kids in front of the library right after school was about to end. And so the kids had to walk past and see that. So I know my kids have seen other things, and I've seen them advance and compartmentalize like no other. I wish they didn't have to.
Right.
But so I will say that education is key. I get to talk to my niece who went to Humphreys Elementary School, who's in District 12, and to find out she reads on the 9th grade level is amazing. But what about her peers?
Yes.
And so the thing about Atlanta,
Help
hope.
us.
Here's the hope.
Come on.
Here's the hope.
Come on.
Right? The hope of Atlanta is we're different from every other city in the nation because we gave more money to school board than we give to any other thing in our city. This is what I mean by that. When you look at the tax, $1, right? Let's say your tax dollar, right?
Yes. Yes.
52 cents gonna go to the school board before it
Okay.
goes anywhere else.
Okay.
When you look at the dollar,
Okay. All right.
when you $1 bill, right? 52 cents gonna go to the school board, 26 gonna go to the city of Atlanta, 24 gonna go to Fulton County. That's how we split up $1 in the city of Atlanta. So before, when you think about your bills at your household, right?
Yeah.
When you pay your bills, let's say your bills is $1,000, $1, right? We're gonna use $1 as the marker. You're gonna put 27 cents. You're gonna put 57 cents in 52 cents in education
Yes.
before you do anything else in your house.
Yes.
So that means we've invested right.
Okay.
So our goal is to figure out how to get it right, right? So how do we get it right? That means we have to become more engaged, and we can't let them put us out the school building. Like a lot of our kids are walked to school in elementary school. The parents go all the way to the 5th grade. Once they go to middle school, they stop going. I don't have a PTA for one of my school districts, right? I don't have a PTA for the entire cluster. Entire cluster. One PTA. So that means that I just told you 52 cents.
Yeah.
So school board get $1 billion. City, speak numbers now,
Yeah,
right?
tell
School
me.
board got $1.1 billion or almost $1 billion. City of Atlanta got $750 million. So when you speak in dollars,
Yes.
last year.
It's a lot of dollars.
And so whenever I'm looking at the product, my niece reads on the 9th grade level. So I know what I'm getting home, but I'm moving around the city. And I'm able to see some of my kids. I know they can't write in cursive because she can't write in cursive. I'm
Yeah.
mad about she can't sign her name.
Yeah,
I'm mad
they're
about
not
that.
teaching that.
But I'm saying that there are some. I'm trying to see the product. They got the money. So if
So we can't see the product. That's the
No.
That's the issue.
we judge the product. So if I
Okay.
gave you my money, I want to hold you accountable. And so I think that when you say you're a parent, I'm not yet a parent. And so if I had kids in the school, I move like I got kids in the school
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and I'm moving it the way. But I bet if my nephew lives with me who goes to South Atlanta High School. I have to go to the parent teacher meetings for a senior year of high school. I do that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's 3 different branches, right? APS now gets $1.1 billion. City of Atlanta gets $750 million because we gave them that amount
Okay.
out of our dollar, right? And do I like the product? I love what APS. I love the person. I love everything, but I don't think that it's hitting its marker where it should.
Right. So
But we don't know how to get there. That's why there's so much choice.
And so why
I
would-
apologize. I'm trying to talk and
Yeah,
try
that's
not to diss anybody.
No,
either.
no, that's okay. But why would it be? Why is it so difficult? Why can't
So much choice. We got
And,
the governor.
and isn't there other cities that are doing it right that we can model from?
Who? So we can't. Our kids are different from every other kid too. So our kids have only seen this is what I mean by that.
Okay. Okay.
If you grow up in the city of Atlanta, you've seen 50 years of strong black leadership. So you know you can be anything in the world.
That is a correct statement.
Guaranteed.
That's
You've
facts.
seen black men and women.
Mayors running through here.
And then you've
Yes.
seen black men and women drive down your street in Lamborghinis, and they're not a rapper,
Yes.
they're not a basketball
That's
player, they're not a
correct.
politician. So you know you can have anything. You then see the social media where you can get it faster.
Okay.
So you got everything. Now the school board has the money, but then you got the governor who's playing in you got politics that
Yeah.
is playing in education, so much so that the former governor of the state of Georgia is the chancellor of education for the state of Georgia. Sonny Perdue.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Amazing man. He quotes me when he goes in speeches. Amazing man. Amazing man. That means he's open to his ears. He's open to things. I said a poem to him because I'll read it on here too. Amazing poem that I think about I read at least once a week. I used to read it every day. I read at least once a week because I think about it when I think about the black young man, black young woman in the city of Atlanta, right? But he quotes me when he goes, but you got politics involved in education, so they're trying to teach to a test. Then you have the $6,000. The parents can now apply for a waiver of $6,000 to take their student to a private school.
Yes.
So that $1 billion that we given to the city of Atlanta, APS, now they can take their money. We didn't give them the funding so they can do that with it. And so I want public education this is what I would do. I want my kids to go to the public schools in their area for public dollars. If you have enough money for private school, you pay for that. But we need to add the choice and the options to the public schools so that you don't have to compete with the charter schools. If you're a charter school, go private or become fully public.
Right.
Because I don't think that public dollars should leave out. And I think we can make do. If we had that whole $1.1 billion in APS alone, and so it's hard to judge the education system fully because of all the things that's in that bag. But my niece is, once again, reading on the 9th grade level, so that means I'm doing so much. Her family is doing so much.
Shouts out to Journey.
Journey 2 E's.
You with 2 E's.
Journey
Journey's
Lewis,
doing a
2
great
E's.
job. She's beautiful.
And can I tell you something?
Yes.
I was upset when I seen that report card, right?
Why?
Because she got she got all 3s. And they don't do A, B, C, D anymore. They do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so that means that 4 is the top grade you can get. Okay. So then she did her reading score. She got top 4s on reading score because those were tests. So standardized tests, they had to give her correct grades. She goes to a school now in Athens, no longer the city of Atlanta, right? Wow. And so what I'm just assuming. Yeah. Man, this girl got straight 4s. Yeah. She ain't nowhere in the world she made all 3s. Nothing else. And she made all the top grades on all the standardized tests. I think they play on my girl up there. You know what I told her? I said, these the best 3s in the world. These really 4s. She knows I think that they're 4s. Don't I think they're 4s?
I'm fighting for Journey.
What I want her to understand is when they say young black folks, I went to church today. Part of that 4. Went to church today, and the letter from a Birmingham jail from Dr. King was read in church. Yeah. Part of the letter that he wrote was, imagine having your daughter look at Funtown on TV, wanting to go to Funtown. You got the money to go to Funtown, but she can't go to Funtown because black girls can't go to Funtown. Right, right. We're still living in that. We still here. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I'm imagining what they fought to get us here. Yeah. And I got my girl, genius girl. I'm not gonna let them skip her. They want to skip her, I bet. They testing her to get skipped. And she shouldn't get skipped. I want her to keep excelling and beasting where she is and keep because we got the other stuff, right? And keep being a child and living that childhood. But there are ways, politics is involved, so parent has to be more involved. Uncles, community has to be involved, like with me. Like Mr. Maxwell taught me to tie a tie. My father didn't have, he wasn't around, so we ain't have to even worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about because shouts out to Natalie Hall, former Commissioner Natalie Hall, because that's where I heard you first speak with passion to her program that she had with the City of Atlanta schools, APS schools. It was CEOs of Tomorrow, I believe. Yes. And then she had that, and she also had another program for the young men in high school. And you were talking about you being a product of Atlanta, just beating the odds. And your conversation, your speech was so passionate. So I'm honored to, full circle. I was a fan in the space, and now to be able to have a conversation with you today is amazing. I wanted to talk to you about because you are a product of Atlanta, so you've seen the changes. I've been here since '89, so I've seen it too. I remember when it was Fulton County Stadium, and then it turned into the Olympic Stadium, and now it's Georgia State Stadium. So I remember when 400 was birthed and the East-West connector. So I've seen the growth and the transition of Atlanta, and it is a city, supporting your comment, where we've seen prominent black people that we could touch. They're not even swarmed with layers of security. You could walk up to Mayor Maynard Jackson and say, "Good afternoon, sir, how are you?" And he would have some words of encouragement
or ask you, what's your name? What are you doing? What's your goals? You could have conversations. You could see the former mayor, Shirley Franklin. You could see, different people. So Atlanta is that space. But I think what happened, Antonio, over the past couple of years, because I didn't see it as much before, now it's really in your face on every exit ramp and corner, the homelessness situation, or people that don't have a home. I don't know what the proper term is. I know they may not want to be called homeless, but they don't have a place to stay at night or every day. And so as a councilman, what would you like to see change in that pocket? Because it's not just downtown Atlanta. It is on Cleveland Avenue. It is whether you're going north or south, you have somebody asking for something to eat or spare change. It is all over your triangle. It is hitting different components of your triangle, your District 12. What would you like to see, or what would be a plan in your mind and your heart to help maybe mitigate that situation?
There are multiple things we could do.
Okay, sir.
And I would say that it did hit Cleveland Avenue hard, and it hit me hard.
Cleveland is
Amber.
hard. Yeah.
I went to school with Amber, and it's a houseless.
Okay, there's no houses.
Houselessness situation.
Okay,
right?
houselessness.
So they would call themselves houselessness, right?
Okay.
And so our houselessness situation, I know Big Girl, who is also on Cleveland Avenue, and they both have tents. On Cleveland Avenue.
Yes.
And I've worked with a young lady named Princess or Latoya Watley, who works with the city of Atlanta, works with a program through the city of Atlanta that is actually helping both. And what she told me, because she calls me when she talks to Amber, who went to high school with me, and so did Latoya Watley. Wow. All three of us went to South Atlanta High School, and so full triangle, right?
Yeah.
Because the one person when you get off the highway on Cleveland Avenue 75 coming south, her name is Amber.
Wow.
She has a dog right there.
Yes.
That's Amber.
Yes.
I went to high school with Amber. Amber's about 2 years older than me.
Wow.
And so Amber will not leave her dog. She does not want to leave Cleveland Avenue.
Wow.
Amber grew up in Springside Apartments.
Yes, sir.
And Amber used to live on the Rocky Road. And so Amber house burnt down. Amber's been there for a long time right there where she is. Latoya Watley is working with her. We tried to actually help Amber go to a houselessness shelter.
Yes.
Amber did not. She couldn't take her dog there.
So
she couldn't take all of her stuff there either.
Yeah.
And so she legit just wouldn't go. So Latoya called me and to make sure she called me her first interaction, every interaction, because when you talk to Amber, the first thing she said, the councilman sending me some help. And so what Latoya's working on right now with her is finding somewhere for her to go. That's the process. I wish it was easy.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I wish?
Yeah. Tell me what you wish, Antonio.
I wish I can buy the hotel on Cleveland Avenue, the blue one, and I wish I could turn it into a houselessness center. And I wish I can give a person $600 a month, or I can give a person universal basic income.
Come on, sir.
Until they get themselves on their feet. And this is all legislation I've tried to pass as a city council person.
Yes.
And so that's what I wish I could do as a city council person to help fix it. I wish I can buy. And so we're doing it in increments around the city. Yeah. But I wish that's how I could address it directly, because we do have a houselessness situation that's hit us. So right now, Latoya Watley is working with Amber Gray, and she's working with Big Girl, who's not, I don't know her name. I apologize for not knowing her full name.
Okay.
Her full name. But Amber Gray is so we're working directly with people to help them out. But here's what else we did. Right here, we have a mental health crisis going on in that area.
Yes.
And so that's part of, when I talk to Amber, I know it my whole life. And so I know that right now she's not the person that I grew up with. Not the same person, not even close. So I can identify it immediately. So what I fought for since I got elected and was now here currently built, because the city can't get it. Once again, different branches, right?
Yes, sir.
So I had to they wouldn't even let me, I can't say that online. I had to work so hard to get this done. In Colorado, they call it a drunk tank. In Fulton County, we call it the Fulton County Rehabilitation Center. It's on the corner of Cleveland Avenue and Metropolitan Parkway. It's supposed to help people who are going through mental health crisis, right? We have about 66 beds, right, newly beds where you can stay up to 10 days.
Yes.
And we have room for up to 500 people at any given time.
Wow.
So anybody who's experiencing a mental health issue can go there. You don't have to go, because we have not been able to deal with it.
Yes.
So houselessness is a three-pronged
Yeah.
A lot of different marbles in that bag as well. But here's one of the marbles that we're doing right here, right now. So I said the problem, I identified it. I talked about one where we're fighting with Amber Gray and with LaToya Watley Direct Services, where LaToya works for an organization who's trying to find a house for Amber Gray in our area, because she does not want to leave where she feels all of her resources, all of her help is, right? So she's working with her on that. She's helping her clean it up. But at the same time, I've worked with Fulton County, the state of Georgia, and the federal government to put $20 million and rehabilitate Oak Hill Academy into the Fulton County Rehabilitation Center. So that's right here in our district.
Yes, it is.
So we do have the issue in our area, but we can fight the issue better than anywhere else in our county, right here. So the issue is probably the smallest in my district than it is downtown and other places.
Yeah.
But I fought. Do you know one of the biggest issues with getting that building?
What?
People didn't want it in their community. They said, not over here. You know what I said?
Yeah.
Let me go talk to the people. And so I went and talked to Hammond Park. I went and worked with Brother Michael Hopkins, and talked to him about what we would be doing here. I talked to Roger over at the tire shop. I talked to, you get what I'm saying? I talked to the people who were supposed, I talked to Auntie Yvette, but her real name Miss Yvette Johnson, who lives over on you get what I'm saying, on Old Jonesboro Road, to talk about fixing a issue we already have here and helping us fix the issue that we have in our homes that we don't talk about as a black community. Now you got a place, we grew up saying we had a crazy cousin, right? All us, for lack of a better way to say it, right? We knew we had one of them that might have been, what if we would have had a location to take them? So what if the federal government was about to sue the state of Georgia because we're supposed to have these rehabilitation centers in our state? We're supposed to have 5 in the state, 3 in Fulton County alone. Wow. And so District 12, Cleveland Avenue, Stewart Avenue. And so at that corner, got the first one in Fulton County. And guess what? They ain't even opened it up yet. You know why?
Why?
I tricked them to get it. They don't even know what they did when they got it. I needed the resource. I tricked them to get it. Well, I told you I went to school for political science, right? So most of our elected officials around us didn't go to school for political science.
Right.
So this wasn't that. They might tell you they focused on this their entire life, but if they didn't even go to school.
They don't know. So you got something up your sleeve because you know. That means I studied this. You studied this
my entire life. I worked on Capitol Hill in Washington D.C.
Yes, you did.
And not how many. That's the Super Bowl for politicians. I worked in Iowa at the Iowa caucuses.
Yes.
I was a caucus director, so that means I counted the numbers, right? And I'm not from Iowa, so I know it's a trick. I don't believe in the Iowa caucus because I know anybody can go in there and say any number.
Wow, listen to this.
So imagine I know
and
I'm from over here, right? I grew up in the house with my grandma. We lost that house. I bought it back. So imagine the fortitude I had to go and buy that house while buying my wife a house too. And so I'm not going to let them play with us in politics. I made them give us, the federal government was about to sue us. We got it over here. And Grady Memorial Hospital is going to run it amazingly. But we need to make sure they fund it right.
Right.
So it ain't even open yet. Because they don't even know what they got, but they got to do it. And so we got to get loud. Like, when people don't know the houselessness, I answered it so many different ways, but the real answer is open up that, because I say everybody has different responsibilities in their role. So Fulton County Rehabilitation Center, I couldn't even talk at the ribbon cutting. You see how I can tell you all this stuff about it? You know how I know about Fulton County Rehabilitation Center? Because they got one in Colorado. I'm copying off them. I want what they got. That means that if you got a DUI, I'm going to tell you, not DUI. Let's say a young person is experiencing, or anybody is experiencing a episode of drunkenness walking on the sidewalk, or a episode of any kind of episode, walking.
Jaywalking or something.
Jaywalking. And we're not locking them up. We're going to take them and get some help. You go here for 24 hours to sober up.
Kind of detox or whatever.
Detox. It's a 24-hour detox center. Or you can stay for 10 days while we figure out what's up with you. And then we work with what's going on. So this is us working on us, and they haven't even opened it up yet because nobody even asking for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I got you. I got you.
But I'm working as much as I can to get resources. City of Atlanta also has one more thing with because I started off by saying, when you talked about houselessness, I talked about a houseless center, the Gateway Center. I talked about the jail.
Yes.
We're also turning our City of Atlanta jail one floor into a PAD center. And so that means that if a person is experiencing some of the mental health experiences, they can also go there.
Okay.
And so we have two in the last 2 years, and so much backstory. They weren't even talking to each other. They didn't even know they were doing it at the same time. I did, though.
It's okay. As long as we get the resources, the help that they need, that's what's important. You were involved in organizing for America with President Obama?
Yes.
How was that?
An amazing experience.
I know it was.
It taught me it allowed me to practice some things I'm doing here on purpose.
Okay.
So I got to practice with a lot of funding. So I was an organizing director for the state of North Carolina, right? And that was after campaign season. So I was fighting on climate change. I was fighting for jail reform. Those were my two largest things, climate change and jail reform in North Carolina. So they was experiencing things that we weren't. And they had a Democratic governor. And so I was organizing people in churches, organizing people in Boy Scout and boys clubs, anywhere we could go. And I was receiving funding from President Barack Obama's campaign team to do it. So I had the resources and the funding to do it fully. I've not only done it in North Carolina, I did it in Denver, Colorado for him. And so he allowed me to run an entire county in Colorado for his re-election campaign, Colorado is known as the most diverse county in America.
Really?
It looks like America. It's like Colorado is it's supposed to be. If you look at the diversity of Colorado, the Denver County is the name of the county. It's supposed to look like America.
Really?
Yeah. And so
interesting.
To be a organizer there, then to grow and be a manager there, and to run the entire county was an amazing thing.
This is good
and this was trust that their campaign gave me. At one point in time, I was the highest. I can say this out loud. At one point in time, as a black man, I was the highest, probably the entire campaign. I was the highest ranking black man who was not an attorney in the state of Colorado.
Nice.
For the President Barack Obama campaign.
Beautiful.
And so to some people that may not, I was holding myself accountable.
It's a big deal.
To it. And then for the same thing for after President Barack Obama's campaign, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton brought me down to Florida to run her entire state for the data campaign. So I did the entire state of Florida's data for her campaign when she ran for president against President Trump. And so I've got experience outside of our state because they weren't spending money here anyway. And so when I'm dealing with a lot of politicians here who haven't been to DC, haven't been to Iowa, haven't been anywhere to learn,
experience,
or to see real progressive states. We can't say we progressive and move,
and we don't, right?
And we helping us. So we do it. We can do what we really want to do down here if we wanted to.
Does the governor give us what we need in the city? We have a good relationship with
I don't work directly with the governor.
I understand.
That would be, we have a strong mayor city.
Okay.
And so city council, we work together. Our job is to create legislation.
Gotcha. And
then deliver it to the mayor. And our goal and job is to support the mayor and to try to help him put together a plan, but we are the bank.
Gotcha.
And so checks and balances. And so I think we do have a good mayor.
Okay.
I think that we have very good council. I think that our governor fought back on some Trump stuff that all of us like. I think our governor needs to open up us to health care. I think the fight is on him on health care. The fight is on him on gun violence.
Come on.
And that means the guns, he know what we talking about, machine guns.
Yeah.
I got my gun license. I'm a Georgian. And black women in Georgia like they men to protect and provide. Protect and provide, right?
Us, baby.
And so
I
apologize for saying it in that manner because not all black women, I'm not speaking as a monolithic. I apologize. Some white women want their men to do it.
It's okay.
But I apologize.
As human beings, we want to feel safe.
And Southern law, a lot of Southerners, and when we're speaking, because a lot of our politicians aren't from here.
Right.
So they don't know. But a lot of us, our grandma got a gun, right? And so we understand that we ain't trying to take your guns from you. We're trying to take them. Guns that do those from you that mass killing a lot of people. We're trying to and the government. We're trying to put in background checks. We're trying to put in bring the gun license back. I'm proud to be. You know how proud I was when I got my gun license.
I had my gun license too.
I still got it. And it's a badge of honor. It means that I did it right.
You did it the right way.
It means I did it right.
I had mine too.
And to me, and I show it because I know it ain't. It's the older one.
It's the old one.
But I still have
mine was laminated. It was so thin. It was. It's like it was real super thin. We're going.
So the governor, I think he has to be open to a conversation on that. And we ain't talking about eliminating all your guns. I think on healthcare, he has to expand Obamacare. He can't get mad at it because it's Obamacare. He has to look at it and say Obama cares with the S, right? And quit tripping, right? Quit tripping.
What are your thoughts, Antonio, about the administration that's going in office today, tomorrow?
I trust my pastors, right? And so when I go to churches, what they see is, went to church today, we talked about it, right? I'm trusting my pastors, and a lot of our pastors are saying a lot of the same stuff. That means I'm trusting institutional knowledge, I'm trusting experience, trusting people that have seen a lot of stuff. I am an elected official, which means public servant, which means I listen to a lot of people cries. Pastors hear more. And so they talk about the sinister wind that is coming. And I try to add some of my own stuff to it. And what I would add to it is, and they also say not to be scared because we trust God, right?
Right.
I trust my pastors, and we trust God, because when we put everything in God's hands, and we are in God's hands, so that means that nothing can happen you get what I'm saying? So we trust him, and sometimes we need to see it. So pastors are saying they showed us what Trump can do. We know we can survive him. We can survive him. And they showing us again. And so I think right now we have to save our money. We have to focus on local government, local priorities, and we have to take care of our local stuff. I'm glad that we talked about how diverse our community is, because my generation, you and her, we ain't tripping about a lot of stuff that our elected officials, our leadership is 90. So their generation seen things differently. So we living differently. We compete differently. Growing in South Atlanta High School, when you say student leadership, I've been beating white boys and black boys my entire life. Like, I was competitive. Like, my school used to take me to the spelling bees. I used to be the guy from the south side of Atlanta who would compete, and my job was to stick my chest out for us. Right? I used to battle Parkview. Going to school, I remember my teacher telling me, the guy at Parkview is working, you better be working too. You get what I'm saying? So I went to all the schools in the city of Atlanta named after people who fought slavery, who abolished something, who did something. And so, I know I got to do something. I'm not afraid to say, choose me, right? I'll go. Whatever it is, I'll go. I know that's what you expect from me. That's what she expects from me, because we need somebody to go and fight for us. That's why to make sure that we're ready for Trump, because I'll go. I'm ready for no time to be elected like now. We already caveat of life. We already got our money.
But you got something on you already, Antonio, because you've worked with the late great John Lewis. You've had so you've surrounded yourself by legacy type people that saw the future, that were about community, about our people, about fairness, about economics, about being strategic, about, paying it forward. Like, you are always immersed in that. You and I talked about it before we started, really what the book definition would be for what a councilman or woman or council person represents. What does that role mean to you, though? What does it mean to you?
To me?
To be a council person.
I'm honored to serve people and help people. I'm honored to be a watchdog for people. I'm honored to go get something and bring it back to people where I grew up at. It means also that my grandma's proud of me if I do this right. And I truly live like my grandma watching me, right? I truly live like I can't do nothing that she would not be proud of. And so this is something I wanted to do. I told her before she passed that I was going to run for council one day. And so to be able to do it and to help us, like, you truly get to help people who are just like you. So I'm a part of the 4%. The city of Atlanta has a 4%. If you're born in poverty, 29% of the city of Atlanta is black folks in the city of Atlanta are born in poverty. Less than 4% of that make it out. Less than 4%. So I'm one of 4%.
Wow.
And that means that, to be more specific, right? In 1987, March 30th, the day I was born, if 100 babies were born that day, according to the stats, only 4 of us were going to be successful.
My goodness.
And so I'm one of that 4%. And so and the reason why I'm one of that 4% is because of the resources that our city provided. Like, our city, I ain't got no mama.
Yeah.
My dad was in and out of jail. I love my dad to death. No issues. That's why I hope that people forgive their fathers for whatever they were not able to do. Then they grow together as they grow, as they move.
You're right.
But the city vested in me and all of us, right? But I saw portions of the city missed where they chose me over my brother. They chose me over my sister. You get what I'm saying? Light skin, because I was a little lighter.
All of that.
A little taller.
Yes.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Spoke a little bit more proper.
Yeah.
But I saw what they would do.
Yeah.
And I was 4%. I think they forgot I'm part of the 4%. I think sometimes people forget I'm really from Cleveland Avenue.
You are really from
They
Cleveland
forget
Avenue.
it. And so
Ooh.
I know Young Thug.
Man.
I know him as Lil Jeff.
We are in the right studio
I
at
know
the
him
right
as Lil
time.
Jeff.
Woo!
I only know him. I know Big Jeff. He was my
Yeah.
basketball coach when I was in high school. His daddy coached me in high school, so his
Amazing.
dad a real man.
Amazing.
You get what I'm saying? His daddy
Yeah.
was a real man. He coached he used to pick us up. I know his uncle, his dad a real brother. I know what kind of family that they drove. They used to come pick up the kids and take us to practice and take us to games.
Yeah.
So sometimes they forget. And so the spook that said, you ever heard the book?
The spook that sat by the door.
What
Yeah.
if? What if I read it too? What if I read it while I was young?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And what if I understand that the goal is to bring some social mobility to us, to all of us? All of us can do it right. And what if when I got elected, I found out that white folks ain't tripping about black folks in this city? They ain't tripping about you getting rich. They ain't tripping about you doing well. They don't know the difference between you and you. Matter of fact, they thought that they split the money up the right way. The only people that know the difference is black people.
Yeah.
Rich black people know the difference between poor black people.
Okay.
They know the difference. So
Yeah.
you could be born in America, born on third base. Donald Trump was born on third base. He thought he hit a triple. But you can also be born in Atlanta and be black and be born on third base and thought you hit a triple. And so you could be standing next to me on third base. I'm Antonio Lewis. You are a son. You are who you are based on born on third base, hit a triple, and you think we the same. I'm really your dad to them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm got to be humble enough and use my ambition with my humbleness to be the right way.
Yeah.
But also, I'm accomplished too.
Yes, you are.
And so 30s, you get what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
taking it from downtown. I know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you are.
I'm reading. I know you don't read. Most of the people we talking to don't even read. And so when I'm planning with my wife, who's the smartest person around me, right? She's an attorney, went to 3 HBCUs, accountant, and an attorney.
Way to go.
Got an
Way to
MBA.
go. Yes.
And she grew up, her dad a pastor, granddad a pastor, great granddad a pastor. So we blessed.
Yes.
And so I'm studying, I'm going through her, and she could tell me anything. Like my niece tell me my tie ain't right. My wife tell my tie ain't right.
Journey said
So-
you didn't have on the right color today, Uncle.
But and she feels comfortable saying that because I get to get checked by black women.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the 4%. Grew up as 4%. Blessed enough to marry my black woman.
Yes.
My chocolate black woman.
Yes, yes.
Right? Who come out of AME pastor family to help, because I didn't grow up in the church, to help me with my church life, right? And I evenly yoked, and I'm now downtown. I understand power. I went and got the education, and my goal is to make it work for all of us, because I don't think white people are tripping. I think sometimes we got a few crabs in a barrel.
It's just us. So do you think, Antonio, will be able to change and raise that number from that 4%
We already started.
to a double digit? Because that hurts your soul to know that 4% of us.
If you're born in poverty,
You know what I
only
mean?
4. And
That's hurtful.
you know what the change is? So you have to, Frederick Douglass once said, it's easier to build easier to build children than it is to rebuild broken men.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Right?
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because you leave out, I don't want to misquote Frederick Douglass.
I understand.
So take that out
I understand.
if you can. There's a quote that says it's easier to build strong children than it is to rebuild broken men. I don't believe in that. I believe that because you got to partner that quote with another quote that says, if you rebuild a community around a broken man, the broken man will break the community, right? So you got two things, right? So they don't work together. So how do you make them work together? You got to get that broken man a job.
You do.
Got to get that broken man an opportunity so that broken man can go home and complete that family.
Yeah.
And once that family complete, even if the family ain't complete, so he can provide to the family.
Yes.
So he can provide for them kids. And you invest in the kids. You make sure every opportunity in the world is given to them.
Wow.
And so to me, even if that means that I'm trying to They told me I'm trying to lower the barriers, right? Guess what I said? I said I want to change the City of Atlanta law to how it used to be, to a man or a woman can get on the back of the trash truck without a high school diploma or GED, and then after 6 months we can help them get that.
Okay.
But at least give them opportunity.
Yeah.
Because they can't. You know, I'm appalled that you say that a man that went through all this stuff in our city and got locked up at 16, because I'm always going to say got locked up at 16, 17, because that's when we let him go to jail. Then we kept him till they was 19. They ain't go back to school. They ain't get their GED. They don't got that in school. They actually kept them 10 years. Kept them till they was 24.
Right.
And so you mean to tell me they ain't good enough to get on the back of our trash truck?
Right.
What they going to do?
Right.
They don't want to go to McDonald's.
Right.
They don't want to. I apologize. I'm sorry they don't want to do that. And it's hard to do that for that price when they can go do this. And so the back of the trash truck is the best job for them. And so I think that you rebuild the broken man, help fix him, fix the patches. It might not look how it's supposed to look when help put it together, because the most successful man in my family was the man that worked for the city.
There's dignity when you work.
Man, that
when
man
you
was
can
good.
bring home a check, when you
He
can
had a pension,
provide
a 401k.
There's
He had a
dignity.
house. That man had I remember he had a 4-wheeler. I still remember my cousin got a 4-wheeler.
There's
He's my
dignity.
cousin, not my uncle. I remember he got a 4-wheeler because all the little cousins went over to his house. He was probably 28 when I was 10 or 12.
Yeah.
But I was like, what he do?
Yeah.
He worked for the city.
City work. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think you have to build both of them at the same time.
Yeah, there's nothing
Working on
wrong with a city job.
Man, it's a good
Nothing
man.
wrong.
You remember the TV shows?
Konak from A Different World. A girl was in there. She had to check her friend. She said, there's nothing wrong with a city job. And I'm like, she's right.
I went to college. You got to leave Atlanta. It's hard. So you born in all this, you see all this strong stuff.
Yeah.
You got to leave it to understand what you got.
Yeah.
So that's my blessing, right? I left. I was gone for 10, 12 years traveling. I traveled 200 days a year for work. Blessed, right? I made good money. I've been making 6 figures. That's what I told somebody. You gotta say it out loud sometimes. I'm making 6 figures at 25.
Come on, sir.
Working in the labor movement and working in politics.
Yeah.
And coming from nothing.
Yeah.
So
Come on, 4%.
Because at one point, before 25, if I was 2014 when I started making 6 figures.
Okay.
But before that, I only made $750 a week, $350 a week, because I was willing to go on. Sometimes I was living in different people's home. It was called supporter housing.
Wow.
Actually, people, if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be where I am today. And actually, I shouldn't have been afforded. I shouldn't have done it because it's discouraged. Like, how do you convince a black boy from Atlanta who see people with things? I like Louis Vuitton too, right? Who see people with things to sacrifice with the understanding that delayed gratification is real. So how you convince me to go to Colorado for $750 a week, and you know how much rent, and you tell me I gotta live in somebody's basement, and I can't bring my girlfriend by, I can't stay out too late. All I gotta do is knock doors for President Barack Obama. That was the sacrifice I took so that I can come home and lead the right way. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
know I
your
just
sacrifice.
went into a few things. No, not just for that. No, because not for that. Not just to come home and lead. Because I know for sure they stopped caring about us. Like I went from knowing city council people to not meeting them. I went from knowing the mayor, to not meeting mayors. And I went from knowing these folks and knowing that, and whenever I knew that the resources were downtown, I know that, like whenever I say you can be born in Atlanta on third base and hit a triple, I know that if the man is the white man, or in any other state, any other city, they would say the man is the white man. If the man, even if in Atlanta, if the man with the money is the white man, he puts the money in a pot. He's not tripping about what happens to the pot.
Right.
The pot is being ran by certain people. If the pot in Atlanta was ran by black people and they kept all the money on one side of the city, and so when you get off the exit on some sides of the city, they still black. They just look different. The money's in the same pot. So what I think is white people in Buckhead like, man, why y'all tripping? We gave y'all the money's in the pot. And I'm like, nah, they ain't the same black people. I'm like, nah, man, they ain't the same. You know, like, they thought they hit a triple. They thought they supposed to have it. And they forgot they're supposed to spread it. They ain't give us that much, y'all.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They ain't give us that much, y'all. And now I'm coming back, and I ain't mad. I ain't even mad about what you ain't doing in the past.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, just we want what y'all got. And I ain't saying what I want with Buckhead. I'm saying I want what Cascade got.
Yeah.
Imagine me saying that.
Yeah.
I want the same bus stop outside of my school that that outside South Atlanta that Mays got. Imagine me saying that.
Yeah. And that makes sense. What can we do as voters? What can we do to help in your charge and the goals that you have? What can we do better as voters?
Get loud about what we want. Know I'm the choir. Get loud about what you want. Know I'm the choir.
Okay.
I am the choir because I chose to be over here.
Yes.
I ain't going to. I know I'm gonna get buried. You're gonna bury me at the end of Jonesboro Road, right there where my grandma at. But can I tell you something else? That's a great cemetery. That's the same place Dr. King was at first. Same place John Lewis is. Same place Hank Aaron is. When you go to my grandma's grave, you gotta walk right past Hank Aaron, right past John Lewis. I see them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, that's the historic cemetery
right
to me.
There.
That's the one Dr. King was at. It's a blessing to be buried
right
there to me. So I'm saying that that's District 12.
That's 12.
You know what I'm saying? The airport right there. So I'm one of them people that don't want to leave my neighborhood because I left it for so long, and I want to make it so much better. I want to live, work, play right here. I want to be able to bring those resources right here. I want the Beltline right here too, because it ain't number sidewalk, so that means we get sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? So I am open to that, but I want them to open up the checkbooks. Like, I like universal basic income.
Yes.
I want it. Yeah. Like, let's go find 1,000 people, and we can be specific. Give them. Let's ask the businesses in the city of Atlanta, like they do in Alaska, like they do in other cities and other states. Let's ask them to put in their portion that they're supposed to. Not all of them, just the business portions. And we do taxes already. Let's get these folks $800 a month, $1,000 a month. They're doing it already in certain parts of Atlanta. We're doing it on Boulevard already. Councilmember Amir Faroki, this is something he did the moment he got elected, something he worked through the city with. So you got to have the appetite of the people involved, the powers that be to do it. Something I've been asking for since I got elected. One things I asked for. I ain't asked for many things because I know for sure if you give and I was being specific, I want to give it to single mothers. Specific, my fault. Like, because I want to give that man a job. I promise you I want to give him a job. I want to give her a job too. But the child is in the house, so I want to give them a check just to make sure that's okay. I want to cover something. So about $850 a month to $1,000 a month. You can give a $500 a month.
Yeah, that works.
I want to guarantee anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month for 2 years. Let's watch that, and let's give her a little coaching. Let's give her a job. We ain't gotta give her a job. We got my district already got companies. Just take her to a company. You get what I'm saying? Or let's put on the back of it. Let's put in parts and rent. Teach her how to cut the grass. Teach her how to sweep up this. So to me, you give her that for 2 years. Let's put in, because the way life should work, if a person is in the 4% still, the way it should work, we should be helping them out. So I know you got to go. We put them in there for help them get some affordable housing. So that means that based on income. So that means, because we don't do real affordable no more. We used to do government housing. Government housing today, can I tell you what it would look like?
What it look
Better
like?
than anything you ever seen. If we were to do government housing today, because you would demand the utmost, the best stuff from your government. So imagine what we would do. And it'll be free. Imagine what we would have to do. So that means we ain't gonna do that. But I would like to. So we give them somewhere to live at about $850 a month, because it's gonna be based on income. We give them $850 a month to $1,000 a month, and you help them. And you ain't gotta help them number 2 years. You never have to help that family again. So that's my utopia. That's my beloved community on this Dr. King Day. But I appreciate you. I apologize that I went into those tangents.
No. This was good. This is good. Somebody like you deserves a platform like this where you could talk and express yourself, because again, we have questions we don't know. It's different roles, positions. Atlanta is a booming metropolis and city. It's different than it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. It is changing. More and more people are coming. And so we just need to have clarity on what does that mean for us that live here, that, we pay taxes, we vote, the infrastructure is changing. How can we all benefit? And it's not one dimensional. It can be all dimensional, if that makes sense.
Beltline, TAD, they're supposed to pay your taxes. So when you say 89, I want 87. That means you Atlanta. Can I tell you something? You're supposed to get your taxes paid. So you live, we built something.
I'm supposed to get my taxes.
You're supposed to get your taxes paid. Or at least a portion of them paid, because we built a city, we built a space that you can come into and make a lot of money at.
Gotcha.
And we're going to invest in it. So why not invest back into that community?
Supposed to get my taxes paid.
If you live over a certain time, they making
Yeah.
all that money by you.
Yeah.
They selling property by you. They doing the stuff they doing in other cities.
Supposed to get my taxes.
They doing it already at the Beltline. They just
Yeah.
you don't live none of they gentrified that area.
Sure did.
Vine City got
Yeah.
gentrified,
They
not District 12. Man, back in the day it got
Yeah,
gentrified.
yeah.
But we don't. Not enough of us live down there to receive those
I
benefits.
know.
But people are receiving the benefits. But yeah.
I want some of them. How can people find you? How can people reach you and find you? What's the best way?
Super easy on either via email. So city council email website is ANLEWIS at AtlantaGA.gov, AtlantaGA.gov.
Okay.
Or otherwise Instagram at Councilman Lewis.
All right.
Councilman Antonio Lewis Instagram, or you can get my personal Instagram, Antonio Lewis ATL. I'm always on there. My Twitter, I stopped tweeting when Elon bought it. I stopped tweeting when Elon bought it.
Okay.
I did 1 or 2 retweets since when some really good friends of mine post me. So that's Killer Mike posted me one time. I did a retweet.
What's up, Killer Mike?
And when my wife posted me one time, I did a retweet. Other than that, I stopped. So this is not new to me. When
Yeah.
he bought it, I stopped it
Yeah.
because I looked enough into him. Like, I don't drive a Tesla. I ain't give him none of my money. I go back to Cadillac since I know the reason why black people. That's why I might get me a Cadillac. But yeah, so not Twitter, but Instagram and on Facebook, Antonio Lewis.
Okay.
Easy to find. Antonio Lewis ATL is the easiest route.
Awesome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. You are a wealth of information, a lot of good experience and energy. You're doing good for your district. District 12 is honored to have you.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm in the district. I'm in Hateville.
Man,
I missed it by a hair, didn't I?
can I tell you what? Can I tell you?
I missed it by a hair.
When I got elected, Buckhead City was trying to happen. That means a portion was trying to leave Atlanta. Since I got elected on the south side, people have tried to come into my district, which means the folks down here are working hard.
Yeah. Awesome work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Listen, you guys know me. You know where you can find me. I'm Real Chicks Rock. I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I am on Facebook. Yes, go to the website, realchicksrock.com. We got some merchandise out there. Subscribe, like, subscribe, hit the bell, notify so you don't miss one of these episodes, because you know you need to have it in your life. I want to leave you with this. Frankie Crocker would say it all the time when he ended his show, WBLS up in New York, when I was a kid. He would end out his show by saying this: may you live to be 100, and I live to be 100 minus a day. So I would never knew that beautiful people like you had passed away. Until next time, be well, take care, and continue.
There I go.
Thank you for checking out Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next show.